चलो.
Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. Not a great day for Indian fans at the moment. They must not be enjoying watching this. Of course, if you're a South African fan, you must be enjoying the quality bowling that you're seeing from someone like a Marco Jansen, from someone like a Simon Harmer, who's extracting a lot of spin from the surface. He's been one of the best in this entire match. But Devashish, let's look back on Indian batting. This morning, no wickets lost. KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal were on the crease. Yashasvi Jaiswal went on to score 58 odd runs off 97 deliveries. KL Rahul lost his wicket early and then a barrage of wickets fell. Looking back, you had two sessions of batting worth watching. Would you call it a lack of temperament? Would you call it a lack of approach? What is it that is making the Indian team so susceptible to South African bowlers?
I would say lack of temperament, Gargi, because this bunch of boys means, with the exception of a few, I think they lack the temperament and patience to play against the spinners. Means, obviously, Yashasvi Jaiswal, he was playing so good for his knock of 58, and then all of a sudden that ball from Harmer, it stopped and bounced, and he had nothing to do. So it was kind of a soft dismissal. But Keshav Maharaj once again was brilliant, getting that inside edge, caught by Markram, but obviously Marco Jansen. Um, some of the shots were atrocious to say the least. Yes, he used his height to good effect, bouncing the ball and rattling the Indian batters. But then, this, on a third day wicket, you need to show some application, some temperament, and also a little bit of the presence of mind, which was absolutely, the Indian batters lacked it, and the way some of the wickets they threw away. Someone like Sai Sudarshan, only one fielder was placed at mid wicket, and he hit it straight to his hand, Ryan Rickleton. It was a great catch, just diving to his left. Then, obviously, what do you say about that innings from Rishabh Pant? Clearly, irresponsible to say the least. A kind of shot that you are not expected of an Indian captain, and then that was followed by a Dhruv Jurel. So clearly, India, definitely the batters so far lacked the intent, the temperament, the patience, the skills. But then obviously this particularly 8 wicket partnership have already added 52 runs of just 141 balls, goes to show that if you are willing to stay there in the middle, willing to show temperament, great patience, there are runs to score, as is the case with Washington Sundar. Once again, he is playing a great knock, great responsible knock, and yes, Kuldeep Yadav so far has given him the support, but obviously, you would expect much more than your top order, much more than your top order, Gargi.
Absolutely. I mean, look at it. If you look at the dismissals, uh, Yashasvi Jaiswal, I think, was a good delivery. Uh, on the other hand, KL Rahul was a brilliant catch by Aiden Markram. Nitish Kumar Reddy was a brilliant catch by Aiden Markram. Ravindra Jadeja, that short ball ploy coming in. And, again, Rishabh Pant, we come back to that same topic of Rishabh Pant somewhat throwing his wicket away, somewhat getting impatient with the kind of batting that he's doing, stepping out and hitting that ball, and getting out in the process of that. We've lost Devashish again. Have we lost him? Yes, we have. The second he moved from that spot, we lost him. But anyway, talking about the wickets, it's a clear lack of temperament. In the morning, we were talking about how this is going to be a test of patience for Indian batters. It is, you will have to go out there, you will have to grind. This is not a wicket that where the ball is going to come onto the bat. This is a wicket where it's going to take real strength and real test of. It's going to be a real test of patience for the Indian batters. Unfortunately, once again, they have failed to show us uh, that. grind that Debashish was talking about. And we have been talking about this grind for a long, long time. We spoke about this in England as well, because there were moments when only one or two batters stepped up and scored heaps of runs, which sort of saved the match, and they were the saviors. If we talk about Shubman Gill scoring centuries, if we talk about Rishabh Pant scoring centuries, Washington Sundar, Ravindra Jadeja. But if you think of a complete contribution from the Indian batters, a complete contribution from the batting lineup is something we haven't seen yet. Devashish, I think you should stop moving, because the second you move, the internet goes. But Devashish, I was
Now
again,
it's okay. I think I am clearly. I think you are clearly audible now. I was having some problem. That was the reason I just moved a little bit further up.
yeah.
Tell me.
Yes, but I was talking about how we've seen a lack of temperament and lack of application from the Indian batters so far in this series. On a spin track, you said that the Indian batters did not have the temperament to bat on a spin track. Now you have a slow track, which isn't giving that much of a purchase to spinners, but is still slow. Again, once again, you fall prey to impatience. You fall prey to a poor application and lack of discipline at this point, and especially if you look at Rishabh Pant giving away that wicket. He's the Indian captain. This is becoming a repeat mistake. I don't know if I should call it a mistake. I don't know if the management is clear on the fact that with Rishabh Pant, there are going to be moments where he's going to play extremely risky shots, and it's going to be a hit or miss. But at the same time, when there is a situation when the entire, or rather the top order has fallen, Rishabh Pant needs to step up and make runs.
Yeah, absolutely, Gargi. You were spot on. Means four wickets were down at that point of time. 122 runs, four wickets down. All you needed a partnership from Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja to bail you out of the trouble. And there you and he has already hit a six mm, early on, and then that that extravagant shot. There was no need for that shot. Let me tell you, and that is what baffles me. That is what baffles me is to you had a responsibility of leading the side. First time in your Test career, you were leading India. It was a great opportunity. He himself said in the pre-match press conference that
We've lost Debashish once again. Okay. It's always a problem, this internet around Indian stadiums, because whenever you go there, there will always be jammers out there. There will be a lot of crowd as well. I'm sure there's not much crowd, but at the same time, the jammers are always in effect around the stadiums. Can you hear me, Debashish?
I could, I could,
Okay, go ahead with your point.
I could hear you. Yeah, that is what I was saying. That obviously 122 for four, you 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 ought to show some responsibility. Now you are the captain of the side, and all India needed at that time with 122 for four was a partnership from Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja. But and he has already hit a six, and then what he does is try and play an extravagant shot and getting caught behind. So that is what baffles me is that with responsibility it brings the best in many of the players. Means obviously, when we have been talking about that Rishabh Pant has his own style of play, we have no complaint whatsoever as to what is style. But given the situation we are in, see, there was not that shot was not needed, just plain simple. 122 for 4. All India needed that time was a partnership between Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja to bail you out of the trouble. India needed a partnership at that stage to stay in the match. And now, what and he plays that shot. He plays that shot and get himself out. So clearly, that is what Gautam Gambhir. I don't know what is the conversation is around Gautam Gambhir or a Smith Kotak or even for that matter the other senior players. Means you need to show some responsibility, and that is why you have been entrusted with. But I'm sorry to say that he has let down in this innings, Gargi.
You know, when we when the England team selection was happening and we questioned as to why a Chiteshwar Pujara or an Ajinkya Rahane were not being considered at that point, or a Sarfaraz Khan as well. These are test specialists. And when it comes to Rahane and Pujara, the team selection made it pretty clear that they are not looking back in the past. Rather, they are looking forward. They want to groom new players. But Devashish, I also believe we need to go back to trusting specialists in the format where they can make the most damage. I think that's what the Indian team has been lacking. In the last game, I put out a tweet and I said that this is one of the most intelligent team selections that I've seen. But that was taken completely out of context in the fact that I was seeing that pitch built. We were all seeing it, Debashish. We spoke to Shujon as well. And for that wicket, it seemed like this team would do a lot of damage with the way that Dhruv Jurel and Washington Sundar both and Kuldeep Yadav, all three of them were included without the team having to compromise on batting till number eight. But at the same time, that's not a team that you're going to play for in the long run. That you're going to play in the long run. That can never be the team that you play in the long run. It was a welcome experiment, but the trust in specialists is something that you see is lacking in this management, Debashish.
Yeah, absolutely. And then all of a sudden, the need to change the batting order means when you stick with someone, you play a Washington Sundar in that first Test match at Eden Gardens. He plays 50 balls in both innings, the only batter to do so, and all of a sudden you change his batting order and bring in a Sai Sudarshan. See, I have no problem whatsoever in playing Sai Sudarshan. He is someone who should be given more opportunity. Try and groom him as your number three batter, but not at the expense of Washington Sundar, who has done well in the first Test match of the series. You can try Sai Sudarshan for another series. See, this chopping and changing the batting order with every match doesn't help anyone's purpose. It doesn't help anyone's purpose. Neither does it give Washington Sundar to be. It is also not fair on the part of Washington Sundar as well. He plays such a knock, means obviously he showed tremendous great temperament, skills, patience in that two innings at Eden Gardens, and then all of a sudden he finds himself at batting at number eight. So clearly it baffles me. It baffles me, and not only me. In fact, the fans as well, because Washington Sundar has been one of the standout batter as far as the first Test match was concerned. Apart from KL Rahul, I think he looked someone who looked to stay on, to buy his time in the middle, to play according to the merit, and he has the defense and the technique and the skills. Now I don't know why Gautam Gambhir changed the batting order or the team management changed the batting order. And look at the knock that he's playing now so far.
No
He has
Shubman Gill
looked
as
very solid. No Shubman Gill as well. That is where, see, when Shubman Gill will come back, the problem will somewhat settle down. The problem will be solved because he will Shubman will bat at number four anyhow. But that next Test match is happening after in August next. So clearly, and this is your opportunity. Someone like a Sai Sudarshan or a Dhruv Jurel to cement your place in that side. Yes, obviously, someone like a Dhruv Jurel, when Shubman Gill comes back, he automatically makes his way. But someone like a Sai Sudarshan, who you have entrusted you with, he has totally looked. I mean, that shot to me was simply not done, especially with just only one fielder there at mid wicket, and he places the ball, dives straight to his hand. So yes, it was a brilliant catch by Rickleton, but that shot was, and he could see the disappointment in his face as well, so as well as Dhruv Jurel. Clearly, number three, number four batting order. Whenever Subman Gill is not there or not available, or he has an injury, he has to miss some. There will be time when Subman Gill might have to miss a match due to injury or some other concerns. But where is your backup? Where is your number three and number four? Is Sai Sudarshan is your long term solution? Is Dhruv Jurel is your number four solution? At least after first innings, I have to say that we means the team management needs to think about it. Means before, and see, we India always had that luxury of having a solid number three, number four. Be it Rahul Dravid, followed by a Sachin Tendulkar, or be it a Cheteshwar Pujara, followed by a Virat Kohli, even be it a Ajinkya Rahane. So clearly, this is something that the Indian team management needs to sit down. This is a very important batting position, at particularly at number three and number four.
Absolutely. There's definitely some instability when, not some, there is instability at number three and number four. A lot of people also talking about, who was it? Rupam was saying that if they were looking in the future, then why didn't they go with a Ruturaj Gaikwad, who's a proven performer in red ball cricket, instead of Sai Sudarshan? I know, look, even for us, it's not as if the management is coming to us and spelling it out that this is why Sai Sudarshan has been chosen. What we know is what you guys hear as well from press conferences, when it comes to selections, is what I'm saying. Ahead of the England tour, management said we want to give Sai Sudarshan a long rope, and they are giving him a long rope at this point. A lot of you also said that Sai Sudarshan has the potential. He brings to the table, you know, some temperament, some patience. He proved himself in Australia. He proved himself in England as well. But now it's time to. I'm not saying it's time to move on, but questions need to be asked, and there needs to be a lot of work done on the temperament of the batting lineup, because this isn't it, this is not it, this is a home test. So, you know be it home conditions, be it home pitch, whatever you want to say, you can't be losing home series like this. It's Are you looking at another whitewash, Devashish? What are you thinking at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you, Kargi. Means you cannot afford to lose a Test series. Come on, well, you have already lost one against New Zealand, and you are again on the verge of losing on the verge of another whitewash, and that too at your own backyard. So clearly, and come on, don't glorify the series win against West Indies or a Bangladesh. Don't just glorify a series win against the Bangladesh and West Indies. Means, so clearly,
Remember,
this was your biggest challenge, and you have failed.
even in that second test match against West Indies, you were pushed till day 5 because you made an error with the
Yeah,
follow on.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So clearly, this is simply unbelievable. Means in last and India's record, means India's record in the last 12 years has been phenomenal when it comes to Test series, Test matches at home. Means they haven't lost. Forget losing a Test series. They have lost very few Test matches. And that is what concerns me. Yes, people talk about transition and things, stuff like that, but then clearly what baffles me is not trying to get a fixed batting position where you can invest in someone. You had a Sai Sudarshan playing in England. You tried him, then all of a sudden you tried him for West Indies series as well, and then all of a sudden you drop him, and in the first test match, and now you again get him to the batter number three. But then, what it does to the mindset of both Sai Sudarshan and Dhruv Jurel. I mean, these are very important positions. Number three, number four is specialized roles, specialized batting order. You cannot just experiment or just cannot randomly change things. It doesn't serve anyone's purpose. So and I think and one more glaring aspect is lack of playing spin bowling. Means we have mentioned it. You have written. We have so many of us team members have written about lack of lack of technique. Is clearly someone like a Gautam Gambhir who has been a brilliant fielder against spin bowling, and then to see such kind of batting display against spinners. Yes, Yashasvi Jaiswal could have easily, but again, the argument might be the ball stopped and bounced, and he had no other options but to, and that was a brilliant catch by Marco Jansen at point. So clearly, things is not looking good for Indian cricket as far as Test matches are concerned. White ball is India is very good. India is excellent, but when it comes to Test matches, means after that incredible series against England, so much good we thought of. Means come on, now the team under Shubman Gill showed a lot of promise, but again it is means without Shubman, this team suddenly lacked that some solidity.
Absolutely. And Devashish, you bring up the point of Indian batters failing against spin. I have a point to make here. And I think this has been talked, it's not like I'm inventing this theory. This has been talked about before, and it is a serious problem in Indian cricket. It is the fact that when it comes to domestic cricket, Trisha is also has also joined us. When we talk about domestic cricket, you have sporting wickets in domestic cricket. Whatever happened to making spin difficult rank turners? If you want to play on rank turners in home test series, why not also have rank turners in domestic cricket? In domestic cricket, you have sporting wickets where the batters will come out and bat easily. The ball is coming onto the bat. The most you get are slow wickets like the one you're seeing in Guwahati. But Indian batters on a domestic level are not playing on spin wickets. So how are you expecting that batters in the international level are going to, suddenly start playing spin like champions? That's not going to happen. It's a problem on a very very deeper level, and we need to fix that. I think that needs to be fixed. I go back to what happened with Anshul Kamboj. I think his last performance before he was called on in England was at Lali, and Lali was an absolute green deck where Anshul Kamboj was getting a lot of swing and seam, and then suddenly when England came, his pace dropped, conditions shifted, conditions got difficult, and then some things were on, some errors were on glaring display, which is I think the same thing that's happening with batting. Trisha, what are your thoughts? I maintain that domestic pitches need to get more difficult in order to prepare, in order to get quality batters.
Yes, of course. I while I agree with you, but then Gargi, my bigger question is, yes, domestic wickets need to be more spin friendly if we want our batters to be good at playing spin. But I have another question. This wicket is not even spin friendly. Nothing is happening in this wicket. It's just low. What are our batters doing here? And these are all international batters. They are top batters. Somewhere I feel I agree with you. I also feel that the test team has to be more from Ranji level than from IPL level. You cannot be concentrating on SMAT or other tournaments like Vijay Hazare. You have to pick up players from Ranji Trophy, someone like a Sarfaraz Khan, someone like a Ruturaj Gaikwad, people who have been performing at the Ranji level, people who have been performing at the multi-day format, because this is a clear case of us losing patience. I don't think Marco Jansen bowled a spell which cannot be batted out. I think Devashish Da will also agree with me. And you and I were literally having this chat in the WhatsApp before we came for the show. That what are the Indian batters doing? Somewhere you can see the temperament not working. Think of this. When Washington Sundar was scheduled to come at number 3 last game, we were all discussing that, look, he has the temperament of playing at number 3. He can play in that order. And see what happened in the Calcutta test. He actually played the most number of balls. So I don't know how much is it coming down to them not having the pitch. While I agree to these parts, I also think one of the major cautions here is the temperament of playing longish innings, the temperament of waiting for things to happen, the temperament of waiting for to blunt the new ball, for example. We are not doing that. I don't think you have seen any of the deliveries which have been absolute jaffas. Maybe the KL Rahul one a little bit, a sudden bounce, but other than that, nothing really.
Absolutely. Let's take some comments here. Sayan Ganguly is saying batters batting rubbish. No point putting blame on anything else. This is what happens when IPL batters are picked for Test cricket. Test specialists ignored. Devashish.
Gargi, I cannot hear you. There is some internet issues. I'm facing some internet issues. I'm not clearly audible. Can you just get back to me?
Oh, no problem, Trisha. Devashish, you can rejoin. I'll ask. Okay, is it better now? Is it better? No, I've lost both my guests. I've lost both of them at the same time. So lovely there. Okay, yes. But Shayan, yes, this is what we have been talking about. We've been saying this for a long time, that not only is it the lack of application, obviously there is a lack of application. It's right in front of our eyes that the Indian batters have been unable to play longish innings. Indian batters are throwing their wickets away or rather getting impatient with when there's scoreboard pressure. But Debashish Shayan is asking batters batting rubbish. No point putting blame on anything else. This is what happens when IPL batters are picked for Test cricket, Test specialists ignored.
Yeah, that is what Trisha pointed out. Means obviously the selectors need to give preference to performance in Ranji Trophy rather than traveling abroad um, for traveling abroad for a series. They should have been to various grounds where Ranji Trophy matches are being played. And obviously, then what's the point of having a domestic tournament? And I mean, at one point of time, it is your Ranji Trophy performance, first class performance, that paved the way to get selected for the Test team, and that has not been the case in recent past, where the IPL performance or performance in a white ball format has been given importance, and so clearly that mindset needs to change, and selectors, they need to pick side based upon the quality of and based upon the scores the batters score in Ranji Trophy matches.
100% Devashish. Last 5-10 minutes on the show and then we can close it. Fitmonk is saying you played Nitish Kumar Reddy who bowled 4 overs and flopped in batting. उससे better अक्सर ही खेल लेते. Look, we won't discuss on hindsight because obviously when someone plays well, you will say that it's a good decision to have them in the team. If someone doesn't play well, you will say that अरे इसकी जगह तो उसको ले लेते. So there's no point in discussing that. Rick Joy Chatterjee is saying Kuldeep showing better temperament as a batter than Pant. Devashish, have I lost you again?
No. I got means Kuldeep showing better temperament as a batter than Pant. Come on, this is kind of a one of innings. Yes, uh, let's not jump the gun and say the punt is means yes, there will be criticism the way he got out. Yes, yes, he shouldn't have played that shot, but the definitely Kuldeep is giving good company to Washington Sundar, but Kuldeep showing better temperament as a batter than Pant. Pant has always been, and it has always been the case with Pant. Means initially he will go for some outrageous shot. He will play some flamboyant shot and bring his own downfall, and that is what Rishabh Pant is. So let's be unfair. It's only one innings. Hopefully, we can see better temperament from the Indian captain. As for with Rishabh Pant, this is what baffles us. Everyone means obviously we expect Rishabh Pant to do play.
Okay.
Gargi, so is it okay?
No, actually, you're stuck. You know what, Debashish? I think I'm going to close the show now because the internet problem is getting a little bit annoying at this point and it's causing some issues in our lives. So we're not able to have a conversation here. Trisha, we've also lost Trisha. So I'm going to end this show here. There's still one more session of play waiting to happen. Let's see how the Indian batters, or rather, how long the Indian batters last out there. It's not the batters anymore. It's Washington Sundar and KL Rahul batting at this point. So we will have to wait and watch how this match pans out. At this point, we may be staring. Indian fans may be staring at a loss. But we'll be back at the end of the game, end of the day. So don't forget to join us then. We'll be back for 5 at 5, where all of us will discuss what goes down today. Thank you so much.